from Damagi. Building on what Eric was talking about, I think that there's a need at these conferences to have dedicated time to actually use our PCs, but in a collective sense to answer and respond to comments going on now. For example, Nathan Eagle with the MIT Media Lab now has 10 different universities in 10 different African countries programming Python and teaching people how to develop mobile applications. Amy Smith actually sent MIT kids to go do exactly what you're talking about through that program, and there's 2 different applications I'm aware of for humanitarian secure messaging back and forth between people for directories. So there's a lot of solutions going on out there, and I know about 5% of them, if that. So I'd be curious to learn from everybody else too, but what's gonna happen is we're gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna remember to talk to anybody else after this session because the next session is gonna be just as interesting. So I'm wondering if there's a platform today like Crabgrass or something else that we can deploy now. Everybody pull out their phone, and as these things are going, have somebody report and log every single question, and we can respond in real time. Because I mean, that's something we can do. I'm pretty sure that technology exists in Twitter or something. We can do it right now.
Is that a platform, the Web4Dev wiki? Yeah, thank you. So, and just to continue this sort of ping-pong back and forth, I would love it if we never had to have another conference. Like, I think that would be the best thing ever. And not because I don't like sitting in this room, but because we have to make this obsolete. Like, especially in this community, like that community that's up on the screen there, this must be something that doesn't keep happening. As nice as it is to fly to nice places and have sort of spring weather. What we have for this is the Web4Dev wiki, which is, I believe it's wiki.web4dev.org? No. Web4dev.org. And on there, somebody can make a space. Now, there's no internet connectivity in this room, which is great.
Can we edit that slide to say .org for every other session so that people get the sense of...
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And let's brainstorm a little bit after this session about what we can do tomorrow, because I don't know that there's much we can do from in the past for this, but yeah, no, that's exactly what we need to get to, Jonathan.
What we can do, and this gets to the idea of the index cards and not just sort of coming to agreement in your group, is we can document what we've already got. Plus, we've got rapporteurs. I think the thing to do would be, instead of turning it into a single file, to break out the questions so that there's space for answering and annotation. I'll tell you, teaching a class on this stuff, just trying to collect exactly the literature you're talking about, which is what has been done so far, it is scattered to the 4 winds. And I think just having some list, even if partial but more complete, would be really useful. Oh yes, Chris. Sorry.
And one other thing is that everybody has these little USB sticks, and on them there are a number of resources like what Clay described in terms of sort of what we've tried to do at UNICEF of bringing together these different projects, talking about what's happening in the spaces. So there's some literature on there, and maybe also tomorrow, if people had a chance to look at those, that could form the beginning of practical discussions for some next steps.
Great, great. Other questions, comments? Did you? Oh, you're just scratching your nose. Anything else? Last observations? Yes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Hope Kalman. I run the Children's Futures Foundation, and I've been an NGO for 15 years, but I haven't come to work for 4 years until George Bush left the White House. And in 2001, at the Global Summit of the Child, I started One Child Makes a Difference, and you guys picked it up as One Child is the Difference. And I'm on the International Criminal Court Coalition, so whoever I need to meet, I'd like to meet you while I'm here. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much. I'll use moderator's prerogative to add one thing that I saw. Back to the idea of sort of what's the shape of the interaction. It's interesting to hear in a lot of these projects the relationship between push, pull, and share. So push is deliver something into the environment, right? The digital doorway is we're going to push this in because this kind of tool doesn't exist there. But we're going to push it in primarily as a platform for sharing, because the people are pulling on what they want out of it, and they're doing it in groups, as we heard the incredible story about the one person runs the numbers, one person runs the keyboard, 10 people yell out the answers. And I think that that may be a sort of instead of the sort of low-level communication stuff, like what direction is the information flowing, really asking yourself, are we waiting for people to pull? Are we giving people resources they can pull? Are we pushing something into the field, or are we providing a platform for them to share? And it seems to me that the really incredible projects, like the radio project being sketched out here, have all three of those characteristics all going on at the same time. And that was a thing that struck me about a pattern of a lot of these. We are, I believe, out of time because we have to reset the room. Thank you all so much for a very intense day. As I said, we'll capture everything we can and circulate it to you as soon as we can. Thanks very much.